unwanted and feared getting beaten up on the street on any given day.
These Nuremberg laws are horrible. It's getting worse and worse for us. Remember our neighbor's dog? We don't hear it anymore because they took it away. We can't even have a pet dog.
I know, Aaron. Times are tough. All we can do is pray that we'll get out of this. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for breakfast before you go to school.
Mama, I don't want to go today. All the kids make fun of my Jewish star. They tell me to go back to Palestine.
All right, I'll walk you. All right, stay safe.
Good day. What are we going to do, Serena? I've been stripped of my position. I now work for my former employee. They're taking away our businesses.
Aaron, you feel all right. Stay hopeful that things will get better.
Attention, attention all Jews. The curfew tonight will begin at 8 o'clock. Anyone seen outside after the 8 o'clock will be arrested.
Families were rounded up in the middle of the night and just disappeared. Although initially my father was given certain privileges because his business was so important for the country, and we have been saved from those early deportations that soon ended. Come on, dirty Jew, dance. Dance, you dirty Jew, dance. Dance, you dirty Jew. What are they doing to us? We have to help them.
Paul, it's going to be okay. We'll be out of here soon. We can't help them. It'll only make things worse. Just trust me.
Grunfeld,
Yes, that's me.
you and your family are free to go.
Come on, Paul.
How'd you get us out of there? I went to Ferdinand Alexo. Told him to undo his actions. I held him at gunpoint. I told him, go to the office and get the documents for your release. That's
Thank
how
you.
we got out.
Thank you.
All right, let's go home.
Excuse me, Father.
Mr. Grunfeld, there's a surprise. How may I help you?
Well, Father, I have to be honest with you. It's not business related. It's personal.
I see.
Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. I'm here seeking baptismal certificates for my family. As you know, things in Slovakia have gone bad for the Jews. If we can prove that we are Christians, my family might be spared.
I really do understand the position you're in, and I sympathize over you and your family. But in order for me to give you your certificates, I must convert you and your family.
Please, Father, is there no other way? We are desperate, but we don't want to convert.
I'll have to talk it over with my superiors, and I'll get back to you with the answer.
I understand, Father. Thank you for your time. Everyone, I have news that you may not like, but just promise to hear me out. Hear me out.
What is it, Papa?
As you know, we've been going through difficult times, but I may have found a way out of it. The priest is willing to help us. We may have to be baptized and convert to Christianity.
No, Papa, I'll never sacrifice my Jewish identity for Christianity.
Susan, this is for our own safety. It's either that, or who knows what the Nazis have planned. You're an adult now, I can't force you, but the rest of the family is doing this.
The very next day, we headed for the church in order that Father Stefan could baptize us and provide us with the documents that would hopefully save our lives. When the priest handed the documents to Papa, he made a point of saying that he looked forward to greeting the family at Sunday services in church. In 1943, the government decreed that any Jewish conversion after 1939 was invalid and that such an individual was still a Jew. One Shabbos afternoon, we were all at home, except for Susan. Suddenly, guards appeared at our door and told us that we had been designated for deportation to a labor camp. My father quickly managed to send a message to Susan through a neighbor that she should not come home, to stay away from the house.
To our dear Susan, the Nazis have detained us at the local high school. We are okay and well, but please stay at your friend's house and find hiding immediately, as the Nazis are looking all around town for you. Be strong and resilient, and we shall all reunite as a family after the war. Love, Papa.
The guards were aware that one family member was missing, so they held us in custody in the local jail. As they searched the town for Susan, after several days, they gave up and sent us to a forced labor camp.
Rouse, schnell. If your name was called, go to the train now.
We were forced to live crammed into barracks of 100 people, but things weren't as awful as we appeared. We were well fed, and there was even leisure time for cultural activities like concerts and plays performed by prisoners for a prisoner audience. There was even a famous concert violinist in our barracks who would often entertain us. My father was assigned to some heavy labor outdoors, while my mother and Ava worked sewing uniforms indoors. The gentle notes of the violin are so peaceful. Hopefully they'll help me fall asleep. We heard rumors about what was going on in the concentration camps of Poland, but couldn't quite believe what was really happening. By 1944, word began to spread among the prisoners that war wasn't going well for the Germans. That gave us hope. That spring, we woke up one morning to see the gate of our camps open and all the guards being rounded up. There had been uprising in Slovakia against the pro-Nazi regime. Allied forces had been airdropping weapons for the partisan fighters for days.
Everyone, you're free to leave.
Who are you?
I'm a member of the Slovak partisan movement. We're in the middle of the resistance against the Nazis.
Serena, Paul, we're free to go.
German forces have succeeded in crushing the Slovak rebels leading the uprising against the Third Reich. The Wehrmacht plunged right into Slovakia and were able to eliminate the opposition quickly earlier yesterday.
Sharon, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? What will we do about Paul?
We need to find somewhere safe, where the Nazis are going to kill us.
Are you sure about this?
Yes, and look at those fighter jets. They're coming too close to us. It's time to go.
Papa, where are we going?
I heard that a lot of people are going to be climbing on that mountain west of us, so we're going to be doing the same thing.
But Mama, it's freezing out here. How will we survive?
We have to be strong and have faith in Hashem.
It's freezing cold. When will we get there?
Soon, Paul, soon. I can barely hear you in this torrential rain.
Yes, let's go. Keep moving.
Mama, Papa, where's Eva? Eva, where are you?
Ava!
Ava, where are you? We need to keep moving and look for Ava later, otherwise we will all die.
God damn it, just leave her in the storm.
Throughout the war, despite all the hardships and close calls which we faced, my family was fortunate to have encountered several good Samaritans, righteous people, simple villagers who risked their lives by opening their homes to us. I'm sure that some of them suspected that we were Jews, even if we had baptismal papers.
Pablo, please help clean up supper and then have to go to bed.
You must go up and fix the roof before it gets too dark.
Heil Hitler, how may I accept? We need to have a place to stay for tonight. It seems as though you have a place for me. I'm king. Come over here. You shall sleep with me tonight.
Please, there's enough space for him here. You need to finish the rest.
No, you shall sleep with me tonight here.
I'll never forget how frightened my mother looked, fearing that the German officer might discover somehow that I was actually a Jew. Before I went to lie down next to a German, my mother made sure to dress me into layers so there would be no chance that he could discover that I was circumcised. Luck was with us yet again. The night ended quickly, and the German officer went on his way. A few days after Christmas, once again, German soldiers descended on the small farming village that we had been living. This time we won't be so lucky.
Papers! Papers! Everyone show me your papers now!
Here's our papers. Is everything in order?
These papers look suspicious. Come with me right now.
Officer, why are you taking
Don't talk back! Don't talk back! You're gonna come with me as well.
Where's Papa going?
I couldn't tell you.
We didn't know where Papa had been taken or when he would be back. One of the son-in-laws in the farmhouse we were living in started to torment us. When Papa had been rounded up with all other men, he heard the soldiers call Papa Jude. He would often try to scare us by saying that he knew that he meant that we were Jews as well. Even though his mother-in-law, the farm owner's wife, would yell at him to leave us alone. We constantly worried about Papa, Ava, and Susan. Our family had been decimated.
Are you Serena Grunfeld?
Yes, why?
Your daughter Ava is with us on the other side of the mountain. You and your son are going to have to cross over soon.
Ava, she's alive?
Yes, she's safe with my family.
Mama, is everything okay?
Ava, she's alive. Ava, there's this nice man on the other side of the mountains. We have to go pack our bags and see her.
Yes, Mama.
Make sure to pack very warmly. It's going to be very cold and dark. I'll be back to get you tomorrow morning.
My scarf.
The storm is getting worse. You must keep moving.
Stay close to me. Don't get lost. Pablo, keep calling out for me. I'll follow your voice.
I'm shivering. I can't feel my back.
Pablo, tell me your name.
We're going. We need it.
Come, Pablo, let's go find the group. Boy, not as lucky as this one.
As we descended further down the mountain, we saw a cluster of small houses with horses in front. We approached very cautiously, afraid of who we might encounter. It was freezing cold, and we had no choice. Mama, I'm very tired and cold and hungry.
No, let's find a place to stay.
About that house over there, there's smoke coming out of the chimney. They probably have heat.
Good idea, Pablo. Let's go there. somewhere to stay?
Come on in.
Thank you.
This is Serena. It's called, they just speak German. They need a place to stay. Help yourself to some food, and there's blankets over there by the fire.
Go to the bed.
Leave the child. Come with me. Mama. Enough. She'll be back soon. Where's she going? Don't worry. Mama. She'll be back soon. No. Where's she going? Mama.
Many years later, I learned the truth about what those Russian soldiers had done to my mother. Of course, I knew they had done something awful, but never imagined that it could have been rape. It's a testament to how strong a woman my mother was, that she didn't give up, and let that horrifying experience deter her from reaching her goal to reunite with my father and siblings.
We've gone all kinds of rides and we're still not there yet. I'm on patrol for the Romanian army. How can I help you?
We're trying to get back to Mishalovce.
Mishalovce? The train will be headed that way soon. Please wait over there.
Thank you so much.
Mama, we're back home. We're really back.
It's so different. The shul is destroyed. It's a different place.
Serena, Pavel,
Papa, Aaron. What happened while we were gone? Where are all the Jews?
it was horrible. We were taken to all these camps. We were getting killed by the masses.
Can't believe it. I'm so glad we survived and we're all together again.
Over the next few weeks, my family was reunited. Ava, Susan, Papa, Mama, and myself were finally together again. We learned how each one of us survived. It was truly a miracle. The war was over. We spent some time in a DP camp until we received papers to emigrate to the United States in 1951. By then, I was already a teenager. Hitler had stolen my childhood from me. After completing my high school education, I went on to City College of New York, where I earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in film and history. I married my wife, Judy, and we are the proud parents of a son and a daughter. I spent most of my working career in New York's film industry as the director of documentary television programs for ABC News and independent broadcasting groups, such as Westinghouse Broadcasting and Capital Cities Broadcasting. I also produced and directed hundreds of films for Fortune 500 corporations. My work in television earned me 2 Emmy nominations, the Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Award in journalism, and numerous other professional industry recognitions. It took me a long time to tell others that I was a Holocaust survivor. Embarrassment, fear, and the desire to fit into my new American homeland kept me silent. I went into therapy because I had nightmares. After that, I went through a real metamorphosis. I made a very conscious decision that whatever I could do to teach about the Holocaust, I would. I tell my story to students all the time. Many of the kids say, "How can you stand hearing and telling it over and over?" I say, "Because it's my responsibility. I think it has to be done." Soon you will all meet Mr. Alan Moskin, an American World War II veteran and liberator of several concentration camps. I always call Alan my hero because if it wasn't for people like Alan, I probably wouldn't be here, because I'm a survivor. I've chaperoned students on trips to Auschwitz Death Camp in Poland, where several million people were murdered. I can recall all the tears that those kids shed there. I try to comfort them and put my arms around them. They understand Poland is a horror of our people's past, and Israel is their rebirth and future.
Alan Moskin. I was born in Englewood, New Jersey on May 30th, 1926. My father was a pharmacist and later became mayor. At that time, there was a great deal of diversity in Englewood. There were Jewish, Catholic, colored kids, Hispanics, Asian, and Indians. It was an unusual mix. I learned at an early age something that an American poet and civil rights activist said, "People are more alike than different." I feel very fortunate there was such diversity there. It made me into who I am. Since I had skipped a grade in school, I was able to start college early at Syracuse University. But then I was drafted into the military service at the age of 18. I served in the United States Army during World War II from September 1944 until August 1946. I was a member of the 66th Infantry, 71st Division, part of General George Patton's 3rd Army. My outfit fought in combat through France, Germany, and Austria. On May 4th, 1945, 3 days before the war's end, my company participated in the liberation of Unskirchen concentration camp, the subcamp of Mauthausen. What we saw there, so horrific.
Hey, college boy, what's that picture you got there?
Yeah, let me take a look at that.
So this is my championship-winning basketball team. Oh, and that's my best friend, Joseph.
Oh, why is there an ape in your picture?
Yeah, are you a color lover?
What's your problem? Is it a big deal that I'm best friends with a Negro? We're all just people. We're all fighting and defending our lives, and we're all going to fight against the Germans and eventually take them down. Why is that a problem?
Remember, son, even though there's a lot of discrimination towards the black community, you don't bleed their blood. Sure, then. Just treat them the same way you would want to be treated.
We all bleed red blood. You have a problem with that? Don't talk to me. Let's go. Let's keep scouting.
Men are dropping like flies. Guys are bleeding out. What are we going to do?
Come on, we have no choice. We're fighting the enemy. Take cover. We're being shot at.
You got him. Let's get out of here.
Hold on. Something doesn't look right. Give me a second.
Come on, let's go. There might be more snipers.
I need to see something. Stay back and cover me. It's a picture. Mother and father love you. It's sick. It's sick. What did the Nazis do to these kids? His parents love him. What I saw and experienced on the battlefields in France, Austria, and Germany made me grow up real fast. Don't let anyone try to convince you otherwise. War is hell. During the time that I spent in combat in Europe, my M1 became my best friend. On one particular day in France, our unit was under fire as chaos ensued throughout the battlefield. At any given moment, one misstep, and any of my buddies or me could be dead.
Alan, I don't know if I can keep going. Is it all worth it?
Yeah, I don't know, Wilsey. I really don't know. Let alone a group of kids who are 18 years old, one from New Jersey, one from Michigan. I don't know, but we have a war to fight and we have to do it. I don't know, Wilsey. I don't know. But what I do know is we have a job to fulfill. When we were drafted, we took on the responsibility to defend our country, and if we die, so be it.
Right, Allie, I trust you.
One day in Germany, we stumbled across POW camp for RAF pilots who had been captured by the Germans when their planes were shot down. As we liberated these men, they began telling us stories about a Jewish camp that was close by. To be quite honest, I wasn't paying much attention to what they were saying. I had heard these crazy rumors about all sorts of awful things that were being done to the Jews in Germany, but like I said, they were just rumors. When we left the POW camp with the pilots, now free men, we continued our advance through the forest to check for more prisoners.
Think the rumors about those camps are true?
What is that? You smell that?
It's one of those camps.
Let's go check it out.
Bodies! They're bodies! Quick, get the cameras! Take a picture of this!
These prisoners are wearing yellow stars. I think they're Jews.
Hey, college boy, aren't you a Jew? Can't you communicate with them?
I don't really speak Yiddish well, but I can try.
Danke, danke.
What should we do?
Well, maybe.
Look at them, they're starving.
Who's told you about it?
They're starving. Give them your K rations.
Oh, stand up. Detective Jabba Mustafa is here.
Look, there's more of them. Medic, medic! I need a medic right now!
Stop. They're too sick for K rations. We need to nurse them back to health.
After the war ended, I continued to serve in Germany until June 1946 as a member of the U.S. Army of Occupation.
Excuse me, General. I'm asking for permission to represent the Jewish people and Americans in the Nuremberg trial.
Sergeant, your experience as chief investigator for the concentration camp Mauthausen could be immensely impactful in the gallery at the trial. Let me call the legal counsel to see if we can accommodate your attendance.
Thank you, sir.
After sitting through the survivors' testimonies and viewing the evidence which the prosecution had gathered, some of which came from the Nazis' own documents and records, it became clear to most of the world that Hitler and his supporters had committed horrific crimes against humanity. Those trials in Nuremberg really motivated me to apply to law school in order to pursue justice for all people.
Thanks, I'm getting to the end of this NYU law school application. Let me read it, see what's good. My passion for the pursuit of justice is deeply embedded in the horrors which I witnessed as a soldier for the 71st Infantry Division, the United States Army during World War II. As both a liberator and the chief investigator of the concentration camp Mauthausen, I later found out that there were 40,000 such camps scattered through Europe. I was an eyewitness to the prejudice, hateful, and senseless crimes which the Nazis inflicted upon over 11 million people in the world, including 1.5 million children who perished. The survivor testimonies and the statements from the prosecution which I heard at the Nuremberg trials will be a moral compass which I shall but my people and my friends who perished. They made the ultimate sacrifice during the Holocaust of World War II.
I attended Syracuse University both before and after my military service in World War II and graduated in May 1948. I then attended New York University Law School, graduating with a JD degree in June 1951. I practiced law as a civil trial attorney in New York and New Jersey for over 20 years and subsequently worked in the private business sector until I retired in 1991. And so, years passed. Thank God. I became successful as an attorney, married, and started a family. But images of the horrors which I witnessed in those camps became part of my nightmares for years that followed. One question always haunted me. Why me? Why did I survive the war and so many of my buddies didn't? For those poor piles of bodies which we found in the camps. I didn't share my wartime stories for nearly 50 years. I just wanted to block it all out. In about 1996, my local Holocaust museum, the Holocaust Museum and Center for Tolerance and Education, asked me to share my story. A friend of mine finally convinced me to speak one night at a Holocaust commemoration ceremony. Once I started to speak, the words and memories just kept pouring out of me. It was almost cathartic. After I finished, I broke down crying and screaming. Why me? Why did God spare me and not Wilsey? A rabbi who was in the audience approached me and attempted to answer my question. Perhaps, he said, the Almighty spared you because he knew that you had a mission to fulfill. You must be a living witness to what you saw in those camps, so that the world will never deny or forget what happened to our people. You survived in order to tell their stories. That day, I decided to dedicate the rest of my life to that mission, and urging students to work to overcome hate, prejudice, and bigotry.
Please remain seated for the final portion of our program. We would like to now escort the survivors whose stories you just saw onto the stage. Students who portrayed them, please stand behind them.
I'm very sorry to say that Alan Moskin has not been feeling well lately, and unfortunately, he couldn't join us tonight. But he's here in spirit, and he's sure going to see the film that we took this evening.
My name is Alice Ginsburg. Bear witness.
My name is Paul Galan, and I bear witness.
My name is Andy Sarkani, and I bear witness.
We are THC, and we bear witness. We are in a unique position to have these survivors with us today. We would like to take the opportunity to give them a chance to say whatever you wish after seeing your story portrayed like this, and the students standing behind them who had the opportunity to portray their stories. Alice, would you mind beginning? If you don't mind.
They did a pretty good job. It was all, as they were performing, it was all reminiscent. It's like going through it. They're very good. I appreciate their efforts.
I did not know what to expect, really, because this is so difficult to replicate, to redo. I'm a filmmaker by profession, asked me so many times, why didn't you make a film? I can't. If somebody else did it, I couldn't. There was a point in the story that was very well executed, had to do with my mother, and I burst into tears. Thank God she survived. We were a very lucky family. All 5 of us survived. Even though we were in different places, camps, hiding, mountains, you name it. We all came together after the war. It was a rare sight for people to see, the whole family. And what you've done here is so dramatic. And you guys did an amazing job. You really did. Absolutely. Thank you. Just one thing that I'd like to end with. I teach about the Holocaust. I belong to the Holocaust Museum in Suffern. I was president up until 2 months ago. We built a magnificent new museum. It's really beautiful. It took us 6 years, but we built it. But what I wanted to say is that when students come in, or if we go to them in their schools, the one thing that we tell them at the end, and that is, never tolerate any incident or examples of hate, of anti-Semitism. Don't ever be a bystander. Be an upstander. Speak up and let the haters be the ones who will have to apologize to you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the teachers who put this together. Very well done. And I'm very proud from my grandson, Michael Wister. I made a dedication. I have been working in a Jewish world over the last 25 years. Prior to it, I was a mathematician working for IBM. But over the last 25 years, I worked in an Orthodox day school in Pittsburgh as a fundraiser and financial advisor. Then I have been in the Jewish world in New Haven working for the Jewish Federation as an executive, and I still work. But I dedicated over the last 15 years to speak in a public world. And on an average, I speak about 70 different public institutions. And this particular school year, I have been spoken with 85 institutions, and I reached out approximately 10,000 individuals to trying to educate them for 3 things. 1, to never forget what happened and never again. 2, that what happened under Soviet communism, which very few people really know what's really happened under Joseph Stalin. And thirdly, then I was able to come to the greatest country in the world, called the United States of America. It provided me a future, a wonderful marriage for 52 years, 2 great children, and 5 grandchildren. And with the last word I like that Hitler didn't win. We did win. We are here, we survived, and we never will perish. See, there are 3 fundamental things about Jewish survivor. 1, we do have a homeland. 2, we have tradition. And 3, we have Yizkor, so we remember. Thank you very much.
In case it wasn't clear, Michael portrayed his grandfather's story. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight and for supporting TABC and the arts and this incredible program. Thank you to the students for bearing with us as we took you through this process. You know, it was not easy, and you pulled it off. You were incredible, so thank you for all that you put into it. And thank you again to our survivors for sharing your stories with us. It's deeply meaningful that we've had this opportunity, and every year we go through it, and we're amazed at the outcome.
Yes, we are, okay? Guys, you really, really surprised me. Amazingly surprised me. You gave me the best gift ever. Thank you.